Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of The Main Save. We're here with Paris 13 Atletico, and we have got an issue with one of our best players in Yannick Berger. Also am live with you guys at the moment because I'm in the YouTube episode, as you can see, or maybe you can't see under my thing. No network. I've got some internet issues on the Sunday morning. The plan was to get up and stream. I haven't been able to do that, so there's a likelihood that the next two games that we are going to do on YouTube, which are huge, which is QRM, who we obviously got FM by at the start of the year, and Red Star, who are flying at the top of the league, are going to be the games we're giving you today. Now, let's go into this Yannick Berger issue. He wants to leave at the end of his contract. It might be down to our finances. We're out to 1.2 mil in wage. In overall balance and in the black. If we can have a look at projections, we're projected to be at 4 mil in debt by the end of the next few years. Our biggest expenditure last season was player wages of £700. We've already spent 466, so we're going to go up in that as well. Yeah, it's not particularly great. Our biggest income last season was grants. We get some grants yet again from the council, but not enough to keep us afloat, as you can see as well. Expenditures meant to actually go down over time, but that's factoring in we actually get rid of some of our players. When we've got no transfer debt, but we're in debt with the football club itself, so it is what it is. It may be attributing to Berger, who wants to leave. Now, he is one of our best players and one of the better centre-backs in the league. He's a leading player for this level, averaging a 7.2. We're definitely a lot worse when he doesn't play. And let's go in there and I'm going to explore my options. I want to myself see what's available. Why would you leave? You're happy here, right? I do like it here, but it looks like I really would want you to reconsider. Sincerely hope you do. I'm afraid I'm going to have to do things my way. Sorry, I think we're done here. Not nice, but considering his options. It's not a nice spot. Now, in terms of what's gone on in the league since we last met, which was a big game against Borgenby, where I will say the last couple of episodes, very annoyed at, poor runs of form of throwing games away. We beat a newly promoted side 2-1. Yet again, another one of those annoying games where we dominate at home, the game should be dead, and then out of nowhere, late doors, we concede, which is not fun, and the game gets nervy. In the French Cup, we got absolutely FM by a newly promoted ASM Belfort, who we beat in the league. 1-0 down. They did absolutely jack all. We went into the 4-4-2, mercifully finally scored, and then Barker, who was probably our best penalty taker out there at the time, missed his penalty. They scored all 5 of theirs, which is, fun. We then played Stade Brochin, 1-1-0, were the better side, mercifully held on, good clean sheet for the lads. And then the last game that we played on stream, if the FM wants to work, there we go. The last game that we played on stream is the FC Martigues game, and this sums up the year, is that we're in the game, we've had moments, we've had 58% possession, we've looked good. We don't particularly play a possession-based football style, but in games where we really dominate and move us to positive seems to help us a little bit, and then move to attacking if we need to. Against FC Martigues, who we beat home and away last year, missing a bulk of chances, and then late doors, they run over the top of us again. So it looks like what we do at Brighton is we absorb pressure, and then against teams second half of the game, it's 65th minute, we're the team that dominates with the pace and with the fresh legs. Seems like here, because our first team is so strong and our bench is so weak, that when we get to that period, if the game isn't killed off, we're in trouble. Hence why I moved 4-4-2 to see if that works through this period, and obviously it didn't. So yeah, in terms of the games that we played, off stream, we beat a newly promoted side 1-0. Yet again, though, as you can see on there, 14 shots, 6 on target. We have a big issue not putting our chances away. A lot of the teams and a lot of the good teams like Red Star are putting all their chances away. They're winning games 4-0 and 6-1, and we'll highlight them before we play them. But we are struggling. If we don't score first and we do not keep a clean sheet, we generally throw it away. So it's not nice. And Niriot was one of the very big outliers this year. Newly promoted side, but not having a good time of it in the league. They're sitting mid-table. We were 1-0 down. Very even game, second half. found a wonder goal from Didri, who scored his first goal. Do note that we had a couple of guys missing in this game as well, with suspension, but this was quite a nice goal from Didri to open his account. And yeah, as you can see, one touch, get it out your feet, top bin, thank you very much. But yeah, and that leaves us third, which is nice, after a poor little blimp of form. QRM and Borgen B do have a game in hand, but they've now gone on a bit of a streak where they're losing games. They weren't predicted to be that good, and they went on a bit of a run. But since they played Belfort and then us in the cup in the league, they haven't really had anything. They've played more of the teams in and around their positions and have not done well. We can currently sit 3 points outside Stadia Lavios, who is one of the newly relegated sides, and Red Star are flying. But in today's episode, we are going to play QRM, who we got in 11 days in the midweek break, and then we're going to play Red Star. If we win both, promotion could be a thing. We'd probably lose to QRM, then I wouldn't rule it out, but yet again, it's going to be very much like last year. We're going to be in and around the fight, but probably be just too many points back and need too much of a perfect run to probably get promoted this year, which might just save our job with our poor finances. Welcome back, YouTube. We have got QRM. And we are going to get straight into it. They've had a pretty okay year, QRM, since beating me, second match day in where they FM me run of draws, few wins. Their first lot coming against FT Martigues, but they've lost their last two. They lost to newly promoted Chambly and then lost to Red Star in a big game. And we'll touch on Red Star because they're my next one. In terms of what we're doing, the boys are pretty happy and I'm pretty happy. With everything going on, we just need to go on a run of form if we can. Lastly, top influencers, we finally have a team leader in Castro, which is nice as well. In terms of the signings and the people that we brought in, Rogi, I just think ball winning midfielders don't get a good rap this year on FM by the looks of the match ratings. They are important to what we do. Civit's the only player at Brighton that I've managed to get a good match rating out of as a ball winning midfielder because he seems to play a lot of good passes. Rogi, someone that we brought in for this year, he's not done it enough. Is going to probably be released. The other one, though, is Devon Ramil, and he has declined slightly. But, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7.1. He always seems to be involved. So from a player coming from a couple levels below where he was scoring goals for fun, he's definitely probably found his level at the National League the first time he's performed at a decent level at the National League. I'm pretty happy with him. Does mean her dad has missed out on a lot of games. He hasn't complained, but, yeah, he only got a 6.8 last year, so he didn't impact games a lot, but he would get a few assists. Apart from that, the rest of the team done okay. Diarra's form's kind of waned. I think we're going to warn him here quickly as well about recent form and try to maybe buck up his ideas for this one. But the rest of the team stays the same. Luke is definitely our most important player. Wanted on end of contract, which is not good. I have no money to tie him down. Definitely going to try to because I think he's one of the best players in the league. But yeah, it's going to be hard to tie him down, I do believe. Scoring first matters most. There we are. We'll see what we can do. Melbourne Victory, by the way, are interested in signing him. But I'm not going to offer him out. Now, I know we need to win all these games and, if we want to get promoted, and this is a big game for us. If this finished as a draw, I wouldn't complain. And if Red Star finishes as a draw, I wouldn't complain because it leaves me in a position where if I go on a run after playing them both twice, we don't have to play them again. Free kick, Matty. We will rotate the camera in just a second. Karamoko heads home. We lead 1-0. Unlike what we're able to do against QRM. Last time we played them at the start of the year where we dominated and did not score. We've scored with our first attack, which is nice. And, we're a much better side when we do take an early lead or a lead in the first half. We seem to be okay. It's the games where we don't score and we don't go and play well in. We play well in, but we don't score, and then it gets 65th minute that we seem to concede in late. Barker's in here. Can he do something? He went with the chip, and tell you what, just onto the roof of the net was not a bad chip at all. If you are enjoying the episodes and the content, do give it a like, do subscribe, and do let me know in the comment section down below. What would you do to try and get some money into the football club? I know friendlies are a thing. A lot of the big teams have rejected my friendlies the last 2 years. I'm going to do my own friendlies next season and really try and get Monaco, PSG, Liverpool, City, United's, all those sort of teams, if they want to come and have a friendly. I'm going to get all of them, get pumped in all of them, which is not good for morale. Try sprinkle in a couple of amateur games in between to get some good results in. but do a massive pre-season. And that's either going to be with us in League 2 or still in the third division as a semi-professional club because we need the money. Fadamundi does not clear it. Casemiro hits, that's going to be wide. Desprez probably had it covered. He's also our other most important player is the keeper. The back four is quite settled. If we were to stay in this division, that back four will eventually get us promoted because they're really good. And it's a back four that I would take to the top flight and be happy with. Now, 72 minutes played, we lead 1-0. We are going to make a couple of changes. Diarra yet again's not had a good one, but we are going to put him through the middle because I do like him as a pressing forward. It does help. Haddad's going to come in as a winger and just get him in on the break. Didri's been having a good time of it. No one through the middle's having a good game. Rogi's playing pretty well for a ball-winning midfielder. Eden's one of our best players, but not having a good game. I think we're going to just get Deji out into there. Maybe we'll move these two around. Joe Lucas is looking a little bit legless. Could switch Matty to the other side and get... we don't have the backup right back on the bench. That's okay. Tactically, though, we are going to start wasting a touch more time and try and see if we can start shutting up shop quickly. 80 minutes played. Still unbalanced. Corner. Bonnet. Headed away only as far as Pedri da Silva, who far out, I thought volleyed home. It was a great strike. Great snapshot. 85 minutes played. Knockhart's going to come in. Diarra's gas, and we're just going to get Knockhart into press. To be fair, he's better on the last man trying to score. So we might do that. Start time wasting a little bit more. Get us off a bit more expressive as well as we look to hold on. And I'm going to make a 90th minute time wasting change here. We're going to move ourselves to defensive. And Nuno's going to come in for Romil. And Gotani's going to come in and for Masawemu and get him in as a defensive midfielder there as well. Lucas is going to stay home. Matty's going to stay home. And this is where we don't want a ball to come in over the top. So we're going to drop a bit lower. Don't prevent the short goal distribution, but do press when they get into us. Here we go. Is there going to be late drama? There is. Maybe I've tried to tweak it too much. That's probably my fault if we concede. I've tried to tweak too much. Hopefully this is a pointless highlight. Hopefully. I don't mind if this is one of those ones where it just takes forever. Tell you what, over the top, a knockout off the last man, which we brought him on for, is in. Has an effort. It was a good save. That's probably all she wrote. There we go. I don't mind that. Lucas just pumping one into the channel and knock up with his speed at this level. Did all right. Probably all she wrote here. Matty's going to whip one in the box, and then they shouldn't have enough time to go on the break. Takes his time. Already 30 seconds over the allotted time. This is going to be a big win in the context of this season. And another clean sheet for the boys, as that's headed out for another corner by Wilfred Zaibo. If I was to go up, he's definitely a player I would target in the system. We highlighted him last time we played him. That's a 1-0 win, boys. That's big. That's huge. Nobody gave us a chance. He proved all the doubters wrong. They looked delighted. Yet again, the back four and the keeper have done well. It's a fantastic result, like I mentioned there. Leaves us third. We are 3 points clear of Borgenby, who do have a game in hand, and 4 points clear of Nancy and Charlotte, who played only 17. But puts us in a position where we're only 3 points back of the team in second. And you know what? If we were to beat Red Star, they haven't exactly got away, which makes me think their form has dipped. You know, Karaoko averaging a 7.11 this year. If you look at our keeper in Desprez, this year, averaging a 6.8. It's only conceded 23, 7 clean sheets. Something tells me if we go to team detailed, stats team detailed, our defending stats are going to be quite interesting. Expected goals against, 16. We've conceded 23. Wow. So there you go. This year, expecting to only conceded 16.95. So we've done really well defensively in terms of our defensive output numbers, and we've conceded 23. That is, wow. That is, how many goals is that? It's 16. It was 7 goals over. We're 7 goals over our amount of XG, which is ridiculous. We're having the highest shots per game at 16, by the way, as well. In terms of attacking, we've scored 30. And goals per game, 1.67. Underperform. We're under by 3.4. What's our total goals for expected? We have the highest shots and the most expected goals, and we are under by a mile, and we're over on defence. Wowzers, we are really copping it from Football Manager this year. Anyhow, Are we back? We've got Red Star. Big game. Hopefully we can do something and go and get another win on the board. Welcome back, YouTube. Red Star. Big game. Obviously, these guys have been fantastic all year. Currently sit on 40 points and are looking like sure favourites to go up. Since they last beat us 6-1, this is their run. Their first loss came against the team in second, Stadio Lois, where they lost 2-1. And then Borenburg, who were fighting with them up the top and a half. They've lost 4 games all year, just drew to ASM Belfort, which is probably a good thing for us, meaning that they drew to a team in the lower, in the lower bit of the table, was there newly promoted. But yeah, look, they've been really good this year, so this is going to be quite scary. They also have a very good record against us. 3 of their last 4 games they have won. In terms of the team, unchanged. Why would you make a change after a performance like that? So we have gone unchanged. But we need to hopefully do very well and show ourselves here. And look, yet again, they beat us 6-1 last time, so hopefully that does not impact us here. I am hoping for a win. A draw, I would probably have to take. Lining up them 4-for-3. They're most vulnerable facing a 4-2-3-1, but only a chance every 110 minutes. They are very good defensively. A Red Star, and a good going forward too. They've got players like Full, who's up front, who's that good, and JS still uses him in the top flight. So with Damien Duran, still uses him in the top flight as well. They've got a couple of really good players for this level, which is, yeah. And as you can see, 10 minutes in, they've had 3 shots, 1 on target. And there's our first shot. We have had 60% of the possession. I have started going to, positive when we've been dominating the ball like this to try and help us move it around. Barker's injured. Going to straight away move Diarra into the pressing forward on attack because we look good with a pressing forward in this system. And Haddad's going to go out there, and Haddad's going to... You know what? Nuno Valente's going to go out there so he can play inside forward. Might even move him to an inverted winger. There we go. We're going to move ourselves into positive after this highlight. Rogi wins. Masawemu. Berger. Great boy out there, the Ramil, who's keeping the whip. Now he can go down the line. Needs options in the box. Fanamundi's in there. Whips one. Looking for Valentini. Backstick. Doesn't find him. Joe Lucas now. Finds Masawemu. Joe Lucas ain't going to get on that. Full could make himself a nuisance. Doesn't. Masawemu needs to win the flick on. Does. Valenti doesn't get on that one either. Don't know whose highlight this is going to be. Might be theirs building out now. They pump one, and in the end, Karamoko, good touch. Joe Lucas, Rogi, looks for Ramil. What a ball. Needs help. Got options. Fatamundi's won. We lead 1-0 versus Red Star. Here we go. Still going to move us into positive, and I'm going to get the instructions just a bit more shorter on the ball. I know we're a pretty direct side, but 30 minutes in and with the lead, if we can keep our possession and be a little bit more, cautious on the ball, which positive does means you keep it a lot more, you focus on keeping it and then look to exploit spaces that do open up in and around the box. We'll move to that as we have 63% of the ball. If we can go into this and just get us into half time, that's a really good spot to be in. We lead 1-0. Absolutely delighted with that. Diarra, as soon as Diarra moves century, he does look like a better player. So far, 1-0. Brilliant. I'm delighted with that. Into the tactical screen we go. I'm going to also move as an inverted winger there. And just get Valentini to go and support. There is a temptation with Lucas as a wing back on attack because he's so good getting forward. But we're just going to leave it. And the main reason that I've tweaked that is just to get Valenti to really look inside and really try to create. And Lucas to pick his moments when to go. As it stands right now, though, we're having 60% of the ball, and I know Red Star want to go long, so if we can hold the ball and frustrate them, it would be not bad. And I've been doing this a lot in games where we've dominated possession and then moved back to balance when needed. Valentine should have already been inside there. Masawema wins it. Valentine now. Lucas making a great run. Ignored the run of Joey Lucas. Ramil will get on that, though, as he's good enough to. Maddie's inside with him. Castro's still there. Rogi could hit one from distance. Decided against it. Now he does. Deflected into the post. Could have been 2-0. A whisker away from a 2-0 lead against top of the table Red Star. Don't think their keeper got a touch. I think it was just a deflection that took it onto the post. Hopefully Barker's injury is not overly a long term. Joey Lucas now. Valentine comes in short. On a possession-based positive system in the 4-for-3, much rather inverted wingers to get on the ball and try and create, and then allow Joe Lucas to bomb on. Ramil now. needs runners. Fatamundi, good touch. Went for goal, just didn't bend it enough. Had Masawemu, who you could have slipped in as well. Footballs look good. And this is the thing that I haven't done enough with at Paris 13 Atletico is a game like this as we go 2-0 up. With Brighton, because we're so good at playing on the break late doors, I always stay balanced and then move to an attacking system if I need a goal, or stay on balanced and just be a touch more direct, and we seem to score because the team's very quick and very powerful. When we're dominating games, when the oppositions here are going so long and just giving you the ball, we need to go positive. We need to lower that tempo, that passing direction down slightly to really play to our strength in the game. Now, it's very game dependent because there's some games where oppositions will go out here and look to keep the ball against us, and the balance 4-3-3 does work in that circumstance. But we've looked very good, and we've got ourselves a lead. Ramil's had a pretty good game. I'm going to bring him off here. Haddad's actually going to go on his non-preferred side, and Didri's going to come in there for Castro, who's going to allow us to do that. Got a knee. It's also going to get Karamoko off here, who is looking legless. I do think it's a big thing having fresh legs late doors at the back as well. Don't like doing that mostly because our back four is pretty good, but yeah. So far though, get to waste time all the time. Could be 2 clean sheets in the episode, boys. Could be 2 clean sheets. Will be 2 clean sheets. What a dominating performance. There's a last guy's highlight as Berger heads home. The man who wants to leave ends the episode with a goal. It's 3-0. We smacked top spot Red Star. And all we did was, and something that I need to do more often, and is look at the game, look at the pattern, look how we're dominating, make the change. If you're not dominating, stay balanced. Maybe even go cautious. That's why balance is so not overpowered, but why balance is so important. It allows you to make tweaks in game, and it feels like because we're at semi-professional, we need to make our money as the manager by making the correct tweaks. And today we got it right against Top. Yes, they still had 15 shots. Yes, we didn't see much from them. But they came with a game plan, which is mainly their game plan. A very direct 4-3, getting the ball onto the full to allow Durard to come in and play off him. Didn't happen today. As we kept our shape, we kept the ball, and the moment they said you can have it, we decided to take it. Bit shorter in passing, bit more possession-based. It's not a system I would start in because it's very game-dependent, but we moved into it. I'm very interested to see the data hub before we end the episode here. We also Barker's injury. Broken wrist, play for injury. Yes, definitely give him that. I know we don't have the money to really pay for that, but sure. Yeah, you know that we don't have money when we're questioning if we have to give a guy a brace on his wrist so he can play or cast. But where is it? Data hub, matches last match. Of course, not in there. Overview and ask for match momentum. Last game. You can see here that we moved to positive, dominated. They do have spells, right? But yeah, look at that again to the domination on the positive system because they're giving us the ball. They do have a 5-minute spell where they're like, all right, we've got the ball, and they keep knocking it long and they win it back, which is fine. When you're on balance and I feel like you're not trying to keep the ball, when you are dominating possession, you're just giving them back the ball because you're going direct as well and you're eating fuel into the fire. At least on positive, you can take that fuel out because you go, you know what, we'll keep it a bit shorter, play a few extra passes, and off you go. And it's just about picking those moments, and we picked them very, very, very well there. That leaves us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on equal points with Stadio Lavios. It is results against teams, which means they are ahead of us because of their good performance against us in the first half of this year. Next episode is going to be a double-header, but more than likely. It could be Nancy and Stadio Lavios. I know we played Nancy a lot in this because they're a really good team. It could also be Borg and B, who are 5th. Nancy are 4th. They're 2nd. It makes a lot of sense. Our run-in is Nero, who are in 8th, newly relegated, and Rodez, who we beat on the opening day at home. So, yeah, it's not an easy run-in. With the internet not being off, I'm gonna try. I've got nothing else to do, so I've got to play FM. Gonna try and hopefully give you next episode with us being on stream. Links down below if you did enjoy the episode as well. We had a look at some tactical data analysis, like my understanding about making changes in game. Let me know in the comment section, and let me know anything that you want to see on the save as well, of course, too. From Damo and everybody else here, though, I'll see you next time. Thank you, and goodbye.